Hey beauties, happy Monday. I wanted to reach out and jump into your feed for a few minutes because I was noticing something happening this morning that I really take for granted. And it's this kind of weird personal thing about who I am and the way that my wiring operates. But in light of some of the things that we've been talking about in Biz Elementals lately, I wanted to share it with you because I think it's part of how do I articulate this? It's part of how I surpass odds and challenges, and it's a really innate thing that seems to be sort of wired into my system. And I was listening to a recording as I was driving this morning that made me think about it and gave me, when you like get this moment of perspective where you can kind of see yourself from outside yourself and you're like, oh, this is a thing. So I wanted to share it with you. One of the things that we talk about all the time, especially in Biz Elementals, is how to how to take action despite your inner critic voice. So when you're feeling fear or shame or discomfort with something, or feeling really self-critical, what's the difference? Because we all feel those ways to some degree or another, which A is really important in and of itself, and B, the difference between folks who self-describe themselves as successful and those who don't feel that way is in part the ability to hear or acknowledge the fear, resistance, discomfort, whatever, and take action despite it. And so I was thinking about just like I'm pretty bomb at that, to be honest with you. I'm pretty bomb at feeling really uncomfortable and doing the work anyway, or feeling really scared and taking the action anyway. And I have like a whole set of tools and practices and strategies, some of which makes up some of the content that Biz Elementals gets that helps me to do that. But one of the things that I was thinking about this morning is that I have a really visceral, heightened perspective about how lucky I am to be in my body on this earth. And it gets kind of extreme sometimes. And I've never really articulated this. So let's see how good a job I'm gonna do. Like, I was driving down the driveway this morning and I was thinking, this morning I woke up, I had really good coffee. I curled up in my favorite chair and worked for a few hours. I hung out with my chickens. I hung out with my dogs. I told my kid just to come out of the room and do the dishwasher. And then I got ready and I got in my truck, which a year ago was on my wish list. I wanted a truck so badly. I wanted a big, sexy ass, high off the ground truck. That was on my wish list a year ago and it felt like impossible. And so I got into my big, sexy, high off the ground truck and I drove down my gorgeous wooded quarter of a mile driveway to go to this like really in-depth like acupuncture appointment with a new Chinese medicine provider that I'm going to be working with that like is not cheap. And I just had this like, I could get above myself for a second and I could see myself being like, I'm in a truck that I'm not worried about making payments on. I'm going to a doctor that has kind of a considerable upfront fee where like the money is in the bank. I'm healthy. I'm loved. I just spent 2 hours like answering and working with clients that like just make me smile constantly. And I thought like, I'm so fucking blessed. And it wasn't in like a like, I'm so fucking blessed way. Like, this part I don't know how to articulate. It's a visceral sensation. It's a physical sensation, that feeling blessed. And I remember, as I was driving down the driveway, I was thinking about the time I remember being really, really sick from strep throat, which is something that I used to get like, it felt like I got it monthly. I probably did get it monthly, but I got strep throat all the time. And I remember being in this place where I was living in a place that I hated. I had strep throat. I didn't have $90 for antibiotics, and I didn't have gas money to even like drive like to my parents an hour away or anything like that. Like, I remember not having money for medication, not for organic food, but not for antibiotics when I had a raging inflamed case of strep throat. And it just like, it's not like I only appreciate things given their distance from times that really sucked, but I feel that my ability to drop in and be in like such a physical sensation of gratitude really helps me to counter the honestly sometimes quite considerable amount of fear or resistance or sometimes it's overwhelm, sometimes it's discomfort. Oh my God, you guys, last week, so Friday, I spent all Friday morning in a coffee shop and writing to everyone that I could think of and asking if they would help promote the book. And it was so uncomfortable that I actually felt itchy. Like I actually was like itchy and uncomfortable and like a little bit ashamed. Like it was really hard work. So I think what I'm saying in my uber caffeinated way is that it's not that folks who experience success and feel successful aren't battling the same inner demons as you are if you feel stuck or not getting traction or ground to a halt or like your inner critic voice is the loudest voice you can hear. It's not that we don't hear it. It's that there are other tools that help us circumnavigate and like overcome that voice. I still hear all those voices, but because I pay so much attention to my inner wisdom, that voice has become louder. And so it's kind of like if you were sitting in a car with like 3 kids and one of them was humming like a tune that you absolutely couldn't stand, and the other one was telling you something really fascinating. Like in the back of your mind, you might still hear the humming song, but it's not going to like derail you because there's something that is equally, if there's something that's so much more attention grabbing that you can sort of tune the hum out and hear the more interesting voice. So it's not like you have to reach into the back and like slap the kid that's humming, right? You can just turn up the sound of the voice that you really want to hear. That felt really windy. I'm not sure that I communicated what I wanted to communicate. But Sabrina, yeah. So here's a quick tool for you guys. If gratitude feels hard, and this was really one of the simplest things, one of the simplest and yet most powerful gratitude tools I ever found. And I'll tell you, I started it in a spot that was very different from here, where my life felt so hard that noting and tracking my gratitude sort of felt like a life preserver at that point. So it's not like shit was all cheerful and I was like, and I'm going to be grateful for things. It was like, oh my fucking God, I can't breathe. And what am I grateful for? So here's what I did, Sabrina. And I'd love to give this to you for homework. Every morning, I kept a pad or a journal or whatever by my bed. And every morning when I woke up, I wrote the numbers 1 through 10 on it. And all through the day, I tracked and noted and thought of and made a point to notice things that I could put on that list at night. And at night, before I went to sleep, I wrote down 10 things that I felt grateful for, 10 things that I wanted to acknowledge, 10 things that I wanted to show thanks for. And sometimes it was like the fucking sun is out. That's all I got. The sun is out. My kid hugged me. I was able to buy groceries. And that's the thing. Like some of them felt really mundane, but it's like all of our gratitude tapestry is made up of really mundane threads. And like, that's what it was today. Like I can pay a doctor. A lot of people don't celebrate that. Like I have a truck. A lot of women don't celebrate that. They're not like Uber, like someone paid me $50,000. They're not like Uber celebrations. They're like the threads that make up the tapestry of our lives. And once you start pulling at them, you notice how fucking magical and miraculous each thread is. I can pay a doctor. I have a vehicle where I turn the key and the shit works. My kid is happy and at home. Mundane, maybe. Also magical and like miraculous, yes. So, all right. I feel like I'm just gonna keep going on. I'm at the library, And they have a stack of books that I ordered that is also going on my gratitude list today. So I'm going to go in and get my library books. But I fucking love you guys. So thank you for watching this. Scrambled eggs and toaster. Absolutely. Those go on the list. Love me some scrambled eggs and toast. I fucking love you guys. Thank you for watching these videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. If this resonated with you, share the love and have a great rest of your Monday.